I will now read verbatim that line from She-Hulk, the first episode. Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When a cat called in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise, I did pretty much every day, because if I don't, I get called emotional or difficult or might just literally get murdered. So I'm controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just seems like projecting a lot of shit onto me. That was one of the most beautiful pieces of monologue ever written. This show deserves whatever prestigious award needs to go to the writers, because I swear to God, this is beautiful. This is actually beautiful. It's too much. It's too much for me. The way the writers were able to just masterfully craft this monologue, how they effortlessly use the English language to get such a powerful message across. And it's so fitting for the character. She-Hulk in the comics, as far as I can tell, she is known for fourth wall breaks and meta commentary about the larger society. And here she is providing such wonderful insights on society as a whole using satire. It's so, the layers to it are just, it's too much for my brain. Think of it this way. This monologue about women being reduced down to nothing but a pretty thing and mansplaining, that then in turn objectifies the very person saying it by reducing her down to nothing but the bad experiences of women, while also womansplaining anger management to the Hulk. Oh my God, it is so brilliant. It is so brilliant. I'm in shock at how four-dimensional, the layers of satire and irony to this. It's just a monologue about women being reduced to nothing but a pretty thing, that then in turn reduces the woman saying it to nothing but the ills of women. Dialogue that is supposed to be so personal, that ended up being so generic, that any woman could fit into this and it still makes sense. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Here in this monologue where she complains about mansplaining, while in turn womansplaining anger to the Hulk. Just give them an Oscar, give them a Tony, give them a fucking Grammy, because this shit is musical. I couldn't even attempt. I couldn't even dream of writing anything as good as this. But if I need to assault you and give you absolute trash to come that could just never hold a candle to this. Instead of what I would have done if I was allowed to even put a punctuation mark on the script that is the first episode of She-Hulk. If I was even blessed enough to be in the writer's room, and if I could make a suggestion, I would humbly suggest that we perhaps lean into her being a lawyer, have her anger management come from the fact that she knows how the law is supposed to work all too well, but then sees how it actually works on a regular basis. How about the fact that 90% of court cases end up in a plea deal because a lot of time people are too poor or too scared to actually take it to court? How about the fact that the justice system you're essentially exempt from the justice system if you're rich enough? Future message. Editing this video, I thought of some other reasons that could explain why She-Hulk is better at controlling her anger than the Hulk. Please keep in mind, this will never hold a candle. This will not touch the absolute 5 gigachad brain that is in the actual show. Here's just some suggestions that I hope you can tolerate, okay? Number 1, she got less of a dose of gamma radiation than Bruce. So while being in more control of her Hulk persona, she's not as strong. And then her entire character design supports this. Number 2, they play it as a joke, so that even she doesn't know why she's so good at it. So that later on in the series, they could write it so that she loses control. And then it's all the more funnier because they foreshadowed it. And then number 3, they could have done something where in her past, she was very passionate about injustices done in the world, to the point where she would get into fights when she was at school. And then because she constantly got into fights, she would then go to guidance counselors or therapists, and then they taught her to control her anger. But then because she felt so passionately and so strongly about injustices done in the world, this then influenced her to be a lawyer. Those are the 3 things that I thought of on top of the thing that's already in the video. But then again, please keep in mind, none of these hold a candle. None of these will ever top what is in the actual show. So thank you, goodbye. But those are so elementary. Those are so cliched. Those are so simple-minded. I would have been laughed out the room, man. I couldn't handle that. But I'm so incredibly grateful that I'm able to exist on the same planet as this dialogue, as this piece of satirical writing. I am truly smarter. I have gained IQ points listening to that. Oh, the irony, all the satire is just chef kiss. Because there's no way in hell they meant that to be literal, right?